Hello and welcome to Solidworks Station. My name's Stuart, and in today's tutorial we're going to look at Model Mania from the year 2003. This tutorial is going to look at phase 1 of the design process, and in another tutorial I will look at phase 2, which is the design manipulation to come up with a slightly different part. So let's have a look at phase 1 of this design. We can see that there's quite a lot going on in this particular engineered product. We've got a domed hemisphere that's been kind of hollowed out. We've got this flange that comes off here. We've got this section here. We've got this back plate that we can see. We've got some counterbore holes. We've got some fillets. So lots of stuff going on. Quite a busy model. So let's go into SolidWorks and see if we can get this complete. If you're struggling with this at all and you need any support or help, just drop me a comment in the comment section below and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Okay, best of luck. Let's get started. Okay, so from SolidWorks I'm going to go File, New, and create a new part, and I'm going to do this from the front plane, and I'm going to create a sketch. So from here I'm going to create a 70mm diameter circle. The reason for that is you can see here, okay, it's the biggest feature. It shares a lot of dimensions with the center of this circle, so this is why I've drawn this from the origin. Okay, it's a 70mm diameter circle, and I'm going to produce a revolve boss base from this and give this a depth eventually, once this flange comes out here, of 50mm. So I'm going to draw a line straight down from quadrant to quadrant. I'm going to trim away half of that. I'm going to go into features, revolve boss base, pick this as my axis. I want 180 degrees going in that, and yeah, I want this coming towards me. Okay, and green tick. Okay, I'm going to go into my front plane again and normal 2. I'm going to create another sketch. This time I'm going to sketch the flange. Now this is usually done a lot in mechanical engineering, and usually it features circles with tangent lines running from them. Okay, in SolidWorks, really easy to do. Okay, so I've drawn 3 circles. This circle here, if I just left click, you can see just at the 5 o'clock position there's like a little yellow icon. Okay, that's to say that this line that I'm about to draw is tangent, so I'm going to left click and then I'm looking for an icon that looks like that. Okay, that's to say that it's preserved the tangency, and the line that runs from circle to circle will remain tangent. So left click. Okay, I'm going to perform that another 3 times. So from this circle to this circle. Didn't manage to capture it that time. There we go. And again from this circle. Okay, and again. Perfect. I'm going to trim this up now. So go to trim entities. I'm going to trim what I don't need away. And there's a few things that I know about this. Okay, I know that this flange here, this arc, is tangent with the 70mm circle. So I'm going to put this in. I'm going to put this radius in of 20. And I'm going to put this angle in here of 15 degrees. So first thing, I'm going to make these equal. So I'm going to click on this arc. I'm going to hold down Control, click on this arc, and make those equal. I'm then going to click on this arc. I'm going to click on this revolve. Oh, sorry. Click on this arc. Click on this revolve line. Okay, I'm going to make those tangent. I'm then going to draw a center line between this point and this point, and I want to make that line and that origin point mid-plane. Okay, and you can see now they will always remain equidistant from each other. Okay, I've got to put this radius in here. This was 20, and then I need to rotate this at 15 degrees. Now, a good way of doing that is to select my right plane. I'm going to smart dimension from, just turn that on, from my right plane to this line here, and I'm going to make that 15 degrees, like so. All that's left for me to do here now is to extrude this by 50 millimeters, like so, and green tick. And I can hide my right plane again. Control 7 on my keyboard. Okay, and that gives me a good starting point for the rest of the design. Okay, so the next step that we're going to look at is actually this ledge that comes down here. Okay, we know a few things about this. We know that it's an offset of 3. It's got a width here of 50. We also know that there is a tangent line here, okay, that runs up to the flange. Okay, and we know as well that it is 10 millimeters thick. And we also know that it is 10 millimeters here, 10 millimeters thick. So we're going to go into SolidWorks, and we're going to go into a front plane again. And I'm just going to draw a corner rectangle just somewhere in space here. Okay, and I know that I'm going to put in 3 millimeters here, and I'm going to put in 50 millimeters here. Let me just remind you where that's come from. So 50 millimeters here and 3 millimeters. I'm kind of drawing a really thin rectangle. Okay, so that's my rectangle in there. I also know where that is positioned because it is 50 millimeters from the bottom to the origin, and from the origin to the edge it's 110. So I can put those in. So from my origin point to the bottom was 50. And then from the edge to my origin point was 110. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a thin feature. Okay, we've done a multi-body, okay, which is this one here, and the other body being this one. Okay, I'm actually going to do a thin feature. Before I do that, I'm actually going to extrude this. So features, extrude boss base, and I'm just going to put in there up to surface and click on this surface here. Okay, the reason I've done that is because if this updates at all, okay, like so, that little platform there that I've put in, okay, updates with it. So let's just get this back to what it was, which was 50. Okay, as I press the return key now, you can see that the little platform down there updates. Just going to go back into my front plane, and I'm just going to go to sketch, line, and I'm just going to draw a line from this point here across, and then I need a tangent line. If I go back to this point and then just flick out, okay, I get a tangent line, and I'm looking for this vertex here. It doesn't look like I'm going to get it. Oh, there we go. That's what I was after. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this line and this line. I'm going to make those tangent. Okay. That might not have been very clear to see on the drawing, by the way, and SolidWorks have apologised for that on one of their videos, but it is there, and it is tangent to this particular flange that comes out. So from here what we're going to do is we're going to go to features, extrude, and it wants to thin straight away. I'm going to put my 10mm in there. Okay, I'm going to reverse the direction of this because at the moment it's going down. So reverse the direction of it like so, and there's no need to click up to surface because it knows the 50mm. We could, if we wanted to, we could say up to surface and click this surface, but either way is fine. Okay. The good way of doing up to surface though is because if this increases, this will increase with it. So green tick. Okay, and that's the next part done. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to actually create this kind of back wall here. We can see that it goes up and it's got a bit of a radius on there, and it goes across and meets the edge of that 70mm diameter circle. It's 40 high. Okay, so all I really need is this 40. I'm going across to meet this point here. I can probably convert the entities of this circle in order to make this shape here, and I've got a radius of 20. So let's have a go at that. So I'm going to go into Solidworks. I'm going to go into my front plane, normal to. Spin that round to the other side. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch. I'm just going to pick up convert entities. Just quit out of that sketch a minute. I'm just going to go to my front plane and sketch. I'm going to go to convert entities and I'm going to click on this line, and this line, and I'm going to reuse those. So I want to convert those to lines. So press the OK button and you can see now I've got that geometry back. Okay, so it's made a replica of that. It saves me redrawing it. So from there what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a line, draw a line up and a line across. Just make sure that this line is straight actually. Let's go back to my front plane, the other side. Okay, get a line. Line doesn't look straight. Okay, line, draw a line up and across. Okay, put in my radius of 20, like so. And then I know it's got a height of 40. Okay. Now, what I want to do here is if I just trim away this line and go to features and extrude. Okay, I know that this is, let me just check. Yeah, 10mm thick. So I'm going to put my 10mm in there and green tick. Now there's an error. Okay, I knew that was going to happen. If I click on this merge result and just untick that and green tick, I'll just show you why. What's happening is, alright, is it's running out of material here. This is where the problem is, okay, on this side. It's not actually meeting that sphere as we would want it to. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into this sketch and we're going to edit it. We're going to delete this line and we're going to move this line across, just drag it out, and we're going to get this point and we're going to drag this up, drag them over the top of each other, and then we're going to go to trim and we're going to trim, oops, Control Z, we're going to go to trim entities and corner. Okay, and we're just going to trim those like that so it meets. I'll just show you that again. So trim entities, corner selected, and trim. Okay, like so. Then go to features, just exit the sketch, and then you can see, okay, much better join. The only problem that we've got here is you can see this on the front section. That's because it's come as two bodies. Okay, so all we need to do is go into that boss extrude. We need to go to edit feature and merge result and just green tick. Okay, Control 7 on our keyboard, and you can see this is coming together quite nicely. Okay, so things that we've got left to do in phase 1, we've got this extrude, a revolve cut that we need to produce. We've got a extruded cut that we're going to put through at 25 millimeters. We've got some M6 counterbore holes to put in. I can see some here in the top plane, and then we've got our fillets to put in at R3. So let's jump into SolidWorks. Let's go straight for our front plane, normal 2 and normal 2 again. Just flip that round. Okay, I'm going to click on this surface. Actually, I'm going to go to sketch, and I'm going to sketch a circle from my origin point and out, and I'm going to give this a distance of 4 millimeters from the outside of that 70mm circle. I'll show you that on here. You see it through a section. Okay, so section AA is going through here, and you can see there's a 4mm gap between the outer bit of the 70mm and this bit that's been revolve cut out. So we're going to do this the same way as we did the revolve boss base. So just draw a line straight down, trim entities, trim up, features, revolve cut, pick our axis of revolution. We can keep it at 360 and just green tick. Okay, so that's that bit done. Let's go on to this face now. Let's produce a sketch on here. Circle. This needs to be 25. And we can go to features, extrude cut, and through all, and green tick. Okay, let's put our counter bores in now. So we're going to go to Hole Wizard. We want a counter bore, metric standard, socket head cap screw. That's correct. Socket head cap screw. M6, normal and through all. Okay, so the position of this first one is going to go on this face, and I'm going to drop that here. Okay, and I'm going to drop the other one. I'm just going to hover over this point here. I'm going to drop that on there like that. Okay, and green tick. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Hole Wizard again. I'm going to click on counter bore. These are exactly the same. Let me just go and check. Yeah, 6mm. So we're going to go on this face. So position, click on this face, drop in the first one, drop in the second one, and if I do Control 8 on my keyboard, I'll have a normal 2 view, and I know that this one sits 20mm from the back. I know that these are 20mm apart horizontally. I know that they are 20mm vertically. And I know that this one here sits at a dimension of 75mm from the origin. Okay, and I'm going to green tick that, and green tick again. Okay, and you can see that I've got those 4 counter bore holes in place. The next thing I need to do before I end this phase of the design is to place in the 3mm fillets that you can see on the isometric drawing here on phase 1. Okay, so we're going to go back into SolidWorks, we're going to go to fillet, and we're going to, in fact, I'm just going to cancel this, and I'm just going to use the rollback bar here on the left hand side, and I'm going to roll back one step. I'm just going to try and put these fillets in with this roll back one step, as I feel it might be a little bit easier to get those fillets in. So I'm going to go to fillet. I've got my fillet parameter set at 3mm, and I'm going to pick up the faces. So I want this one. I'm going to want this face. Whoops. Just right click that and delete. This face here. I'm going to want this face here. I'm going to want this edge. I'm going to want this edge underneath. Okay, and I'm also going to want this face here. Okay, it doesn't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click that and delete. Just going to try, see if I can pick it up with that. There we go. And okay, it's not picking up that line. I might have to do that separately. Okay, so just green tick that. Okay, I'm going to go back into fillet. I'm just going to pick up this line here and green tick. Okay, I'm going to roll back the rollback bar like so. And there we have it. There is our part created for phase 1 of Model Mania 2003. Join me again in the next tutorial where we'll look at phase 2 of this particular competition, where we're asked to make some design changes. Thanks very much for listening to Solidworks Station. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you're new to the channel, give me a big thumbs up if you're enjoying the content that's being produced. Thank you very much, everyone. See you again soon. Goodbye.